You got the world famous Strictly Business Show with me, Dr. J, the sexiest business show in the world with the business knowledge you really need. Okay, Mike G has cleared us to talk some tech business. In today's fast paced business environment, 2 or 3 seconds of delay or latency within a network can seem like an eternity. Well, edge computing to the rescue are powering the future of industry because they have designed an application that delivers nearly zero latency to cover 97% of business demands. To speak more on this, we have a very special guest. He is Senior Vice President of Edge Compute at Lumen Technologies, Dave Cooper. Thanks for coming to the Strictly Business Universe.
Well, thanks for having me, Dr. J.
Okay, Dave, first question. Are you related to Michael Cooper, ex-Laker great?
No, but I'm a big fan.
Okay. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, the important question, let's get down to business. So tell the audience, what is edge computing and how does it benefit businesses and consumers today?
Great. So edge computing is about delivering the power of compute and data closer to where digital interactions occur. And your audience may be wondering, what's a digital interaction? And digital interactions include, how we interact with our favorite games, how robotics are controlled to build your new car, and those retail store experiences like contactless checkout and various other capabilities. So the compute power has been a key enabler of innovation for many years. And the last decade with the public cloud, and edge computing is bringing that power even closer to people and devices.
I'm old enough, Dave, to remember when computers first came in, you had that lull time. You had to wait like 5 seconds for it to power up and move from page to page. So I like the way things are now. You mean we can actually go faster?
No, they're going to get even faster, Dr. J. Hey, when you think about, I'll give you one good example to show you the power of that latency improvement. Think about virtual reality. You see the goggles and various experiences with gaming and social media and what have you. Well, that requires even faster processing, and the latency, if it takes too long, causes a really, really bad experience for the user. And so milliseconds matter. Even less than seconds, milliseconds matter. And we're talking about making tenfold improvements by deploying the edge computing platform and offering that capability to enterprises.
So what is the difference between edge computing and cloud computing?
You can think about it as edge as being part of that overall cloud computing ecosystem. Today, the public cloud is largely centralized, spread in a number of locations throughout the United States where the cost of power and cooling is less. That allows those data centers to be massive so they can take care of all of these transactions that we've been throwing them for the last decade. Edge computing shifts data processing from those centralized locations to the network edge. And that's where people and devices interact. And that minimizes the latency we were just talking about and maximizes the application performance.
It seems like every time you buy a new computer or cell phone, the cloud computing is being put upon you. Is that the same with edge computing, or is it still a choice?
I think today it's a choice, and choice by those innovating, the enterprises, the businesses on wanting to build applications and capabilities that help improve their operations or make their products or services better. So I think the enterprises themselves are making that choice on whether to leverage edge computing. I think as consumers, you and I are going to realize the benefits of edge computing as these companies innovate more and more on the edge because of the experiences we get introduced to, which will be somewhat, not visible to us, whether or not it happens on the edge or in the public cloud.
We're speaking with Dave Cooper, Senior Vice President of Edge Compute at Lumen Technology. Now, Dave, give us some examples of industries that are implementing edge technology and why.
Yeah, so there's a large number. It's hard pressed to find an industry where they're not going to benefit from edge computing with the dependence on technology in this day and age. But two of them that I like to speak about often is manufacturing and retail. Manufacturing, that long-standing tradition of using technology to vastly improve productivity and quality. They're using more and more technology such as artificial intelligence and machine learning and IoT sensors or data sensors that all of this collects data and does analysis that improves the operation of a manufacturing facility or manufacturing line. And all of this benefits from having compute and storage closer to where those manufacturing operations are. Retail, well, retail is a great example because, as you walk into a store, you can see the pronounced influences of technology happening almost daily, where you walk in and you see, for example, digital marketing, personalized ads, coupons that may show up onto your smartphone by being in the store. Those capabilities, along with contactless checkout, the reduction of wait times and being able to flow through a store using digital technology. These are great examples of how edge computing is enabling that technology, the software that runs those capabilities, to be able to move those industries forward. And there's a host of other industries, healthcare and finance and a number of others.
Dave, my audience is a lot of independent businesses, small business owners, people who employ 15 or 20 or 50 employees. And every time you talk to them, they always feel like they're being left out of the conversation of technology, or they don't see how it benefits them, or they can't afford it if it comes along. So how would this affect small businesses, or does it, or should they get on board, or what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think it's the great thing about edge computing is it's really just continuing to pick up where public cloud has really driven innovation across all sizes of business. It's not just to the large enterprises with capital and means to be able to invest in these technologies. It's allowing innovation to happen, whether you're a one-person company, 5 or 10 or 300-person company, to be able to explore and prototype and experiment with these technologies in a cloud environment. And that's what the power of the cloud, as much as it is to save money, is to actually provide that flexible platform for innovation. And that simply translates with edge computing to the small and medium-sized businesses, being able to leverage it because it's a shared resource, a shared capability that allows them to leverage software that is either prepackaged in software as a service or other different sources. I think it's an enabler. It's part of that whole cloud value proposition, and it extends all beyond just the large enterprises to the small and medium.
What about training? I mean, is there a certain learning curve for employees or organizations for edge computing?
There is, and I similar to the last question about the who can use edge computing. It also leverages a lot of the principles and knowledge of the cloud, and so individuals that are looking to upskill or train, develop their capabilities. If they're doing it in the cloud, then they're going to benefit in edge computing as well, because it's using most of those principles that are used in the public cloud. And so those skills are out there today, and you're starting to see disciplines start picking up specific to edge, especially when you talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning, those software capabilities. But there's a growing list of available trainings and knowledge that people can learn from.
Do you foresee edge computing replacing cloud computing in the future? And if so, what's next after edge computing?
I think the two coexist. I think there is absolute continued role for public cloud. It's an important part because of its scale and its cost effectiveness. You're going to see certain applications and data remain in the public cloud or private data centers or what have you. But you're going to see edge computing, completing the cloud is as I like to say, supplementing those capabilities with much more lower latencies, performance, and other characteristics that may sit better with applications that can use them.
Where can companies find more information about edge computing?
You can go to your browser and type in www.lumen.com/edge, lumen.com/edge. We've got a plethora of information regarding edge computing, the fourth industrial revolution. It's a great place, a great resource to understand what this edge computing thing is all about. We'd love for folks to visit.
He is Senior Vice President of Edge Compute at Lumen Technologies. Dave Cooper, thank you for coming on to the Strictly Business Universe and enlightening us about the future, the next level. Please come back, okay?
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good day. You got the Strictly Business Show with me, Dr. J, the sexiest business show in the world on the CRN Digital Talk Radio Network.